Fellas, in today's video, we are looking at the top 10 easiest characters to climb ranked with in Marvel Rivals. Now there's a ton of things that will impact this, of course, and even looking at just the roles play a big impact, because of course I find it is easier to climb with support and Vanguard. DPS is a little bit more tricky, and sometimes the other team will counter you and there's not a lot that you can do in regards to that. But why is DPS the hardest class, I think, to easily rank up in Marvel Rivals? Because more often than not, the DPS are the ones that get target banned, or generally banned. They are also the ones that tend to get countered a lot. So I made a hard mode category just as a reference so that you understand. In that case, someone like Spider-Man. Spider-Man gets banned a lot. If you've ever had a Spider-Man on your team, you'll know he goes 2-30 or 30-2. And then a lot of teams will try to find ways in order to counter him if he is diving a lot. Same thing with Black Panther. So if you start playing against teams that are, if you play a lot of teams and they start running things like Emma Frost, The Thing, Namor, Adam Warlock, Loki are also good choices. Those are going to be characters that are really meant to either resist or counter these dive characters, making them not great choices to easily rank up. I'm looking for a one size fits all, and that's what I want to show to you. And then lastly, when I say easily, I'm also looking to the difficulty of the character. So someone like Magic, you can level up pretty easily with them, but they are a very difficult character to play. They're very flexible. I think one of the best DPS in the game at the moment, but they are not going to make the top 10 because they are very, very tricky to learn and play effectively. But it's not just the skills with them, it's also things like positioning. These two characters, especially Inviswoman, she will take you very far if you do have a lot of game knowledge and game sense. But if you don't, and say you're newer to the game or you're not really good at ranked but you want to contribute a lot, Inviswoman is not going to be the character for you to play. So let's get into it. Starting off with who I think is the best at the moment is Psylocke. She is getting a slight nerf next season with less time on her invisibility, but this recent season has turned her into a monster, especially teamed up with Frost. She does a ton of damage, she gets in, out, eliminates your backline before you even notice what happens. She's a fantastically strong character that doesn't take a lot of skill to play, and on times where flanking isn't the best option, which is her main role, you can be more center, do your basic shots, getting chip damage. You can also target those on the front line or in the enemy's middle line to get easy picks if they happen to be low health with their dashes. And then she has a really cool team up with Emma Frost as well to get two of her. Her ultimate I find is very tricky, time odd to get the most out of it kills wise. But in terms of actually getting ults popped off, she's a very strong character for that as well. She's a good pick, easy to learn and pick up. I do like her a lot. She is our number one pick. At spot number 2, we have Cloak and Dagger. Yes, Cloak and Dagger is in this list over Inviswoman. I understand the thoughts. For this particular case, it makes sense. Cloak and Dagger, very easy to pick up, use, play, position. She has an easier time with hitting the flyers, people further in the back, and she does have ability to dodge ultimates for her team. And you could play a little bit more safer, which is why I think she is a better choice for easily ranking up than Inviswoman. Although in the end, I do think Inviswoman is the better character. Yes, but more tricky to play. She takes more skill to play. With Cloak and Dagger, you just sit near the back of the line, shoot your shots, and that hits, heals whoever you're looking at, and then anyone around them as well, which is disgusting to have for an ability, especially through choke points and on points like domination, or even just like on the convoy. Anywhere that your team is more grouped together. And with the new season coming up where that seems to be a very common trend, Cloak and Dagger is going to be one of the best characters for you to pick up and play if you haven't already. She has a great ultimate that creates 4 lines of healing lanes or damaging. And then she can switch to Cloak to either focus on damage, to help position herself better, dodge ultimates. A very, very good choice will take you very far, and probably the best support to learn if you haven't put a lot of time into the role. Now we have Thor, and this one is for a lot of the DPS who haven't done a lot of Vanguard roles. Thor is not complicated to play. Really, in the end, you're going to be doing his basic attack in Thor Force, and that's all you really need to do with him to get well. Of course, he does have more to him. You can do a lot more with him, but to do well with him, You just need your basic attack and Thor Force, the ability that consumes all of his 3 hammers, and you shoot out lightning beams. If you are someone who has played only a lot of DPS characters, Thor is a great choice as a Vanguard, because he is a brawler and he feels just like a glorified DPS. He's good at creating space, he's not the best on his own, but the most common comp, and the comp that wins the most, is 2 Vanguards, 2 DPS, 2 supports. Thor is a very solid choice. He's very strong, you can pick him up, play him easy, and he'll take you very, very far, especially in a meta that is comprised of a lot of shield Vanguard, who you can hit through their shield with your basic attack, and then use your hammer swing to take him back to your team for elimination, as well as his ultimate that can kill through support ultimates. Caveat, not the beginning of Luna's, because she has just too much overshield. And you can play him a lot more aggressive than you can with a lot of the other Vanguards I find, which is very fun. Someone who is on the list though is Rocky Raccoon, who is not number 4, but he's who I'm thinking of at the moment. He has fantastic healing capabilities at the moment, where if you shoot your shots right, you can be giving your teammates 110 instant healing, as well as some healing over time on top of it. He does have his dashes to try to get away. It was nerfed, but you still can do fairly well with it. He's able to stall points, which is great for just about every game mode at the moment. And if he is up close, which by that time is really not ideal, he can absolutely melt the tanks and DPS and support that you're fighting. Not so much far away, but very good otherwise. His healing orbs, you can shoot them a long distance, they'll heal. They're very strong. And he has an ability to bring back one teammate from the dead after they die. On top of that, his ultimate was updated recently so that not only does it give bonus damage, it gives healing as well. He is not a complex character to play. In fact, if you wanted, you can just go up to a hidey hole and then just shoot your healing orbs down at your team, and that'll take you disgustingly far. Not the best way to play him in my opinion, but a very strong and effective way to play him, as you provide constant healing to your team and you stay alive for a long time. Why is that better than some of the other supports who just sit in the back line and heal spam? Because you're able to get away, and if someone does try to attack you, you actually have valuable tools to get in some damage. So it's not complicated, very easy to pick up and do well with. A solid spot on this list. As the next best choice, we have Namor. Namor's kit to use is very simple. You have your basic attack, your second attack that you still need to aim with. The main thing that you'll be doing is throwing down your squids and then your bonus squid if you have a team up, and letting them go to work. That's all you really got to do. This is good for countering the flyers, the divers, the flankers. He is a great backline support and does incredible damage on the front line as well. The perfect all-around character that you could ever ask for, alerting the team essentially to who is trying to attack, over actually going forward and getting picks. That doesn't mean he can't, just means that as a general casual way to play him, you're more like a security guard than anything else. His ultimate's very strong. If you land it right, it could get a kill on squishies, or at the very least, knock them down. He is super good at the moment. He does have a team up with Hulk. Hulk is spanned a lot. That's not going to be an ability that you really focus on a ton. But as a general, he's a solid choice. He'll take you very far. He's fit into just about every comp we've seen so far. No, and then with season 2.5 coming, Ultron is going to be a very popular character. Namor is going to be someone who could take care of him. I don't think anyone's ever slept on Namor, but he's not appreciated as much as he can be. The Punisher is going to be number 3 actually. Why is he number 3? Presently, he's very easy to pick up and use. I have slept on Punisher, gave him a shot recently. If you come from a FPS background, Punisher is going to be your guy. You have a shotgun for up close, absolutely melts anyone trying to dive or the tanks. Then he has his basic gun, which shreds people. He does have a team up presently with Rocket that is absolutely disgusting because you don't have to reload and you shoot faster. But Punisher is going to be a guy to get in a ton of damage, to get picks, deal with the flyers. He can kind of handle the divers, not great, but he can. And then he has his turret for holding lanes, holding points. Super strong. He does have his ultimate that will melt just about anyone. However, normally when you pop that, that's when the support ults get popped. So you do have to use that somewhat sparingly, or if you want to force out a support ultimate. He'll take you very far, very easy to play. His kit does look kind of complicated, and that's what put me off, but he's very, very easy to use. And then on top of that, next season, more damage, more rounds in his gun. That alone is already perfect. Seriously, he's very fun to play, very strong to play, very easy to pick up. If you want to play DPS and you don't want to play the glorified security guard, Punisher should be the choice that you do. And now just above Rocket, we have Squirrel Girl, who's going to be at number 9. Dumb, simple to play, dumb, simple to use, has the simplest toolkit of anyone I think in the game. And then next season, they're buffing her, more ammo, easier cooldowns, her kit's being optimized for user experience. We don't know quite what that means yet, but I don't know how they can make it easier. But my god, they are trying to. You ever play against the Squirrel Girl, you'll know how annoying she is. She can stay way far in the back, not even with her team, just in the back. Or she can be more central with the team and just block off her acorns. They do incredible damage. Her ultimate is disgusting in tight zones. And God forbid she actually hits you. The only thing I've seen for somewhat okay counters was Groot, who is banned all the time, and Doctor Strange, who received a heavy nerf and he did fall off. I do think he's coming back. His changes do look pretty good. I can't say they're the best at the moment, but they do look pretty good. And he'll have to have his shield up just about all the time. Otherwise, with Squirrel Girl, if you shoot towards the enemy team, even in just their general direction, you don't have to be that accurate. You'll get damage, you'll get kills. The only thing I will mention is that you do have to be somewhat accurate. You have to have a goal or at least a target in mind. Otherwise, if you're just doing chip damage the entire time, yes, you'll have a ton of damage, but you're just feeding the enemy supports. Don't be that Squirrel Girl. Put a little bit, tiny bit, the teeniest tiny bit more effort into how you play her, and she'll take you very far. Everyone will hate her, and you'll be one of the few people who don't hate Squirrel Girl like everyone else does. She's very good. We hate her though. I want to say don't play her, but my god, she is just so good in so many cases. Now, for our final Vanguard, we do have Magneto, who I think fits solidly at number 4, because Magneto is a great tank, easy to use and play. You have his big shield that stops all projectiles, including ultimates. And you have a shield that you can pop on yourself or a teammate to give them a shield for a little bit. His basic attack is very strong. His secondary attack will knock people back and is getting buffed. Plus he has his ultimate, which is the trickiest part about him, that can kill supports in their ultimates or negate to an extent some other ultimates that can counter the Iron Man ultimate. But someone like the Punisher, who puts out a ton of damage, that can stop it for a second, but it'll explode and you lose your ultimate. He's a very strong Vanguard. He'll take you very far. He's a very popular character. I think if Magneto was banned more, that would throw a lot of people through a loop. Yeah, there's really not much I can say against him. He's very slow. He's a very slow character. You'll feel it if you play him. But besides that, he's very great. If you ever played the Vanguards before and you want to start branching out in ranked play, don't do it immediately in ranked play, but if you do, Magneto is a good choice for that. Now we got Moon Knight. Everyone hated on him in the early times because of his onks. You don't have to be super accurate, you just look at the onk, throw your attack, that'll take you as far as you need to go. But with people like Loki, who is very strong, he absolutely melts them. His ultimate was nerfed, I think, in a good way, where unfortunately you're not getting full team wipes with it most of the time. It still does a ton of damage and blocks off a lane for a little bit, but the great thing about him is his damage output. But not just his damage output, he can also get easy picks. If the enemy team is all grouped together, that's perfect. You shoot your shot and your shot bounces between everyone, dealing a ton of damage. You throw down an onk, not only does your basic attack bounce between all the targets, bounces to your onk, especially if there's only one person there, so that it can continue on dealing a ton of damage. He's very strong, he's great for putting out a ton of damage, but make sure that you actually do aim at a target, single that target out to make sure you get the picks. Otherwise, again, you're just feeding the support ultimates. He's not the best when he is singled out, unfortunately, like magic is a great counter to him, but he can do a lot to damage and either trap away the enemy or get the pick on them. I wouldn't say he's slept on, but you don't see him as much as you do with some of the other DPS. And speaking of other DPS, we have Hela at spot number 5. This presently will make our tier list, with Squirrel Girl unfortunately being number 9. Hela was disgusting in the first season and a half. And even now, she's not bad, but she was a little bit more slept on. And I don't think she's going to be making a grand appearance again in Season 2.5, but you should be seeing a lot more of her with how the game seems to be changing. Good for getting picks. She stays in the back, so you don't have to be too worried about the front line coming to kill you. If someone does try to dive you, you have your Raven mode to get away. And then if you are more up close and can aim a little bit better, she has her secondary attack to put out a ton of damaging output. Plus you get a kill, boom, bonus damage to those around them. You have a Loki or Thor on your team, boom, they either come back to life or get bonus health. Her ultimate, can be countered by someone like Doctor Strange. It is also very, very disgusting. It's very strong, can kill squishies in 2 shots, and her basic attack feels like it has no damage fall off, at the very least to a point where you probably won't notice it. And with how the Marvel Rivals hitboxes are, while you do need to be somewhat accurate, you have a little bit more grace with it. Hela is a very strong character to use, but you are limited more so to the back line, which can make it tricky and odd for some people to play. She'll take you very far, she'll be very annoying, especially as you do get better with her. A great solid pick. And as a general for the DPS out there, please listen. If all of the DPS are comprised of flankers or divers, people who are not with the rest of your team, that's a bad team composition. Anyways, that is the top 10 tier list. I'm sure you have other ideas on who should be up there, and there's a lot of good other characters, but I'm talking who is the easiest to pick up, play with the most impact, take you far. Hit that like button if you're still watching, subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one. YouTube thinks you like this video next. Let me know if you do.